Mers and heart on my sleeve. Now, do you like bats? A lot of people have the totally wrong impression about bats. You know, I remember seeing that wonderful thing with Sir David Attenborough in the cave where there were millions of bats, and he was saying, you know, this is a silly thing, bats don't fly into your hair, and of course the minute he said that, they did. But it doesn't happen very often, and to absolutely reassure us on that point, I'm joined by Mike Glyde in the studio. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Now, you are, well, you're a Batman, aren't you? Sorry, I bet you're so sick of that.
Yeah.
And you are going to be conducting a sort of bat search, really?
Yeah, indeed. Over the summer, we're doing a number of bat walks across the county. The first one is next Friday, Friday the 13th. They picked a good date at Hartlebury Castle. As part of the Museums at Night initiative, we've been doing a number of bat walks over the past few years, where members of the public get to come along. The kids do some craft activities. There's a lovely meal. We have a talk, an illustrated talk, and then we go round the grounds of Hartlebury Castle with bat detectors, looking for different bats to see what they're doing, identify different types of bats, and really debunk all the myths that are associated with them.
Now, I love Hartlebury Castle. It's an ideal venue, really, isn't it? Because there are so many places where the bats can roost.
There are no roosts there as well, yes. So but it all depends on the day, exactly how many we see and whatever, and the weather. But we always find bats there, so it's a good opportunity.
What's the earliest time that you're likely to sight them?
Our two most common bats, which are the pipistrelle and the noctule, come out just after sunset. You get some possibly a little bit earlier, and then right through till after dark. There are some species that just, you know, until it's totally dark, will not emerge from their roost. So the ones most people see around their garden, the pipistrelles, they're very early. You'll see them, you know, actually quite clearly against the sort of this setting sky, and people are quite familiar with those.
Now, they do communicate with each other, but we can't hear it.
That's right. Well, they do have social calls where they do actually talk together, but obviously to find their way around, these obviously small flying mammals trying to find incredibly tiny insects in total darkness in trees, they are the most amazing animals, and what they use is echolocation, so very, very high frequency calls where they basically shout, listen to the echo come back, and they can pick out spiders' webs, incredible resolution. It's hard to comprehend how amazing the actual echolocation is.
I know. I mean, I understand actually that they're using this. That some blind people are actually learning to do this now, aren't they? They are echolocating.
There is. Yes. I've forgotten the gentleman's name in America who goes around. He basically produces clicks.
Yes.
And he can actually determine shapes, not just there's something in front of him, but that is quite remarkable. And there are people beginning to do it over here. So it's all to do with, obviously, a very good brain and very good hearing.
Some noises that the bats
make. Just to give you an idea, obviously we can't hear these bats at all. So what we actually have are electronic bat detectors, which pick up the sounds. And give you an idea of some of the sounds.
Hold it quite close to the
There you go. Is that coming through?
Yes.
That's a noctule bat. That's one of our biggest bats. And the pipistrelle sounds completely different.
That's a tiny one, isn't it?
That's the little tiny one that's about the size of your thumb. Now, this is the one I love because this is the horseshoe bat, and this is the one that sounds like a side effect or a sound effect from Doctor Who. That is actually a bat. That's a horseshoe bat. And that's the sound that we actually pick up. So turn those off. So actually, when we do our bat walks, you get one of these bat detectors. We go around. Even though we can't hear the bats, we use these very simple machines. They're almost like radios that tune into the bats' frequencies, and we can identify the different types of bats and tell what they're doing, whether they're feeding, whether they're commuting, whether they're chatting to each other, because they do socialise. There is talk, sort of.
Yeah. Well, they are mammals after all, aren't they?
They're absolutely. Yes. They feed their young milk during the summer when we do get these roost together. They're all female. So when you see lots of bats coming out, it's all females. They only have one pup a year, so they're quite slow breeding. So they are susceptible to climate change, lack of insects. All our bats eat insects. None of them suck blood. So they're all insects. They're all insect eaters. So little pipistrelle. This is a fact I love to get across to people. It's our tiny little pipistrelle, the one we're used to. Will eat up to 3,000 midges per night on a good night.
Now, if for nothing else, you should put up a bat box at home.
Exactly. I mean, do the maths. You've got 100 bats in a roost if you're very lucky. That's 1/3 insects in your environment are gone each night.
Yes,
52 million over the year. So they're incredibly valuable in terms of natural pest control.
How long have you been passionate about bats?
since I was a child. I was actually in the bat group when I was 15 for a few years until my dad decided he couldn't be... It was too much effort to keep driving me everywhere at 15. And I really got back... The bat group reformed a few years ago, and I got back into it then. So,
lovely.
yeah, it is... I think when people get into bats, it's very difficult to let go of them.
Yes, I mean, it's obvious that you are, very passionate about them, and that's what you need to enthuse others, and especially the children, I think, because if you can get children captivated by something, then it stays with them.
Absolutely.
And sort of quash all the myths. And do you get to handle any bats at all?
You have to be licensed to actually handle them. They're all protected. There are times we do have a carer who's part of the bat group, and on some of our public events, we'll bring a live bat, a captive bat.
One that's been injured or
That's
something.
when it's been injured, is in care. So when actually people see a bat close up for the first time, it debunks so many of the myths of this great big winged horrible thing, and they realise it's tiny, about the size of your thumb. It's all wing.
Yes.
And of course, when you see photographs, that puts people off as well, because you see pictures of bats, they're always going, bare their teeth, they're snarling. Well, they're echolocating. If I was to ask you all to sing the national anthem, and take a photograph, most of you will have your mouths open when the photograph is taken.
Showing,
yeah, exactly. So it's nothing to do with being aggressive. So these bat walks, we got obviously we got the one at Hartlebury Castle. I think, actually, to be honest, I've been told that's now fully booked up.
Right.
But the bat group does have a whole series of bat walks. There's one on the following day at the Knappen Paper Mill, which is one of our best bat walks. Lots of bats. If you go, am I allowed to plug our walks? Thank you very much.
Why you're here.
Yeah, that's why. If you just Google or Worcestershire Bat Group, if you have a look at our website, we have a list of have we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bat walks at the moment, ranging from the summer right through on the obviously Saturday the 14th. I'm just passing it over to Wincey now. There you go.
Yes.
They range everything from an urban one we've got in Worcester Cathedral and along the River Severn.
Right.
There's Kidderminster. We've got Hartlebury, Hercott Pools, Grafton Wood.
So actually, spread right across our area.
Indeed.
There'll be a bat walk at some point that you can go and join.
Yes.
And if you want more information, you can go to www.worcestershirebats, that's all one word, btik.com, or we have the information here so that you can ring us and we will pass it on. This is fascinating. Do you know what I love? I love people who are really passionate about the subject, because even if you're not interested when you start to talk to someone, if they're really passionate, you become involved, and I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we see that at some of the events where people they will walk past our stand, they will see we're bats, and they will step away and walk away, and we grab them and say, "Why are you walking away? Come on, talk to us, debunk the myths." And once they start finding out the little bit that they know that they're not in your house most of the time, they're on your house. You're lucky. They're all female. We basically move. Only there for a short period of time.
Yes, because the females gather in a roost to breed and to have birth.
And then they're gone.
Yes,
and they don't stay there all year round.
Well, it's lovely to meet you, Mike. Thank you very much.
You're very
sure
welcome.
that you will have lots of people now going a bit batty.
Yes.
I know it's so obvious. I'm sorry.
We're used to it.
I really wish I hadn't said that.
Not at all. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, let's have some Free Now and All Right Now.